Well, we got a 2013 Corolla here, back to working on it. When we were replacing the alternator, I noticed a bunch of buildup. I've cleaned it now with brake cleaner, but I noticed a bunch of buildup in here of crusty kind of oil. Looked like it was coming from back here where you've got your timing chain tensioner. I guess it's a fairly common leak. We bought the parts in the gasket. Not a lot of, I wouldn't say, there's access, but it's blind access. So I think there's two 10mm nuts on the back there. I really can't get it into frame, but it's back there. You have to, one of them holds this bracket on. There's one here, there's one up here. So we're gonna go ahead, pull that guy out. I've read a couple things, seen a couple of videos. It seems like once you get the new tensioner in, to release it, because it's compressed, to release it, you need to run the engine counterclockwise a little bit till you hear it click, and then give it a full couple turns clockwise. So it's be a little dicey because we don't want to skip a gear, kill the engine, but we're gonna give it a shot. Trying to get a view in here. We were able to get in there with a small 1/4-inch ratchet and loosen up one of the nuts. You can see that bracket's free now. It was 10mm. The other nut's up here, and this guy's under tension right now. It's a little bit of a gap, so taking this nut off slowly by hand, and you see it pop. All right, so we got it free. Don't lose your nut. Can't get it in frame. Don't lose the nut, and let's see what this guy looks like. You got to twist it a little. Remember how it comes out. Here's that little pointed end of the gasket, and it comes out with a little ratcheting side facing the passenger side of the car. All right, so we have our new part and our new gasket. You can see it's already compressed. There's this little lock tab, little lock latch there. You have to hold this latch down and drive the piston in, throw the little tab on. This is the one we've got to try to get some pressure on once it's in the engine so it pops free. This is the orientation it'll go in the car. And there's a little ridge on this gasket, and I believe you want it pointed, the ridge part pointed towards the engine. It really wouldn't make sense for it to be the other way. So we're gonna go with that and put it back in. All right, let's see if I get into view. We just learned something. So hard to see, probably nearly impossible to see. There we go. There's the new tensioner right there. The end of it will sit against the belt, so you've got to push it in to insert the nuts, and you've got to be ready because as soon as you push it in, it releases that little claw. So you got to be ready to put a nut on. I don't think you need to back the engine out because when you push it in, it pops that guy free. You can see it's already extended, so we gotta find our gasket, but then we got to put it back in. Okay, so we got it in. All we needed to do was one hand on the top, one hand on the bottom, hand on the top. I had the nut come around the side, push it in, run the nut tighten down, and we're good. I just hand tightened it with a 1/4-inch wrench, and I couldn't find a good torque spec for it, but I think getting a torque wrench in there is going to be a pain anyway. So good hand tight, about the same feeling when I popped them off, and we're gonna go ahead and run it backwards a little bit, see if it helps, but it released when I put it in there, so we should be good to go. Okay, I stand corrected. We've got our ratchet on there. I wanna say I ran it backwards, quarter rotation maybe. I heard a very audible click coming from the tensioner, so it's definitely released now. So you do wanna run it backwards, get that audible click, and then you probably want to do a few rotations forward to make sure everything's set up right. Okay, I think we had success. We ran it through a couple cycles clockwise. Everything's looking good, not hearing anything horrible, didn't feel anything funny like a timing chain skipping a tooth or anything, so that's it. Really not too bad on these 2013s. 2009 to 13 are about the same. So there we go. We got a leak back here with this area here. Down in here, I'm going to stick my hand in the belt. This area down here has got some greasiness on it. Probably have a leak from that timing chain tensioner, but I understand it's pretty darn common, so hopefully this helps someone out.